Whenever I think of Wad being the type of character that is supposed to be dumb for comedy's sake, in this episode, since I forgot everything about it, I can instantly tell that they knew that Wad needed a character arc when it comes to how he's portrayed in this show. All the while that I didn't watch any season 3 episodes centering around him. Well, aside from Wed Action 3, but still. The premise is that a customer wants super shaving cream, which is available in the back, which leads to Wad leading the way, which, at the same time, he's not really smart at leading the way of what happens in the back room. And truth be told, I didn't realize that basically everything in this show, when it comes to my knowledge, is taking place at Gar's bodega. Whatever if it's part of the back room or underneath the store itself. It really made me see that the world building in this show is a lot more smaller the more I realize that most of the locations that the characters go to are taking place in the back rooms or underneath the bodega. Miss Mummy lives in the back rooms or underneath the bodega. Truth be told, I can't even imagine what Mr. Gar is mostly capable of when it comes to figuring out the back rooms while also keeping a check on the back rooms itself compared to basically the main area of his bodega. Getting back to Wad, truth be told, if he was really smart on where to go in these locations, then I'm pretty sure that Enid will probably be a little bit jealous when it comes to her understanding where she's going, but at the same time, she's not the one to understand the back rooms nor underneath the bodega, judging of how massive the entire place is. And the way I see it, it really made me think that Wad is only doing this for the sake of trying to have some confidence, but at the same time, with his lack of knowledge, his confidence really falls flat. And since Enid is slowly understanding what's gonna happen when it comes to her catching on, especially since that they need a map in order to figure out the directions of where they're going, truth be told, I'm not really a fan of maps when I was really young, especially since that whenever I use a map, it's mainly from a video game like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, considering that I can easily navigate a dungeon simply, mainly the fact that I played the game a bunch of times, but without a map in these types of scenarios, Wad is pretty much screwed, along with his friends. And the fact that Enid is willing to catch on in order to make sure that they don't get lost completely, the back rooms get generated. And this is also the location that I've remembered in some episodes. In all honesty, if Enid was wrong about the entire place being generated, then I'm pretty sure that there was no other way we're ever going to see this location. All the while understanding that in later on we're going to be returning to this location a few more times. After Enid made the choice to leave Wad behind after she and KO got lost, they witnessed another map which is similar to the last map, but at the same time it's a mimic being a map, which led to the mimic attacking Enid and KO as they defend themselves. The mimic then turns into Wad, but at the same time, another Wad appears, and this leads to the two figuring out the solution that the real Wad is the Wad who is happy and nice, while the Wad holding the map is egotistical. But even after defeating the mimic, Wad had the map the entire time. Honestly, I don't have an issue with this, mainly from this episode, despite some of that happening in some occasions that get really old, but with how pacely well this episode is and how likable the characters are, I'm more than thankful that this isn't a showcase of how dumb Wad is, which he is dumb in this occasion, but at the same time not done really badly. They managed to get back to the bodega and give the customer his shaving cream. And that's how the episode ends. This episode really feels like foreshadowing towards future episodes when it comes to one of the locations. And even though that this episode centers around Wad's confidence when it comes to him understanding what he's doing, for me personally, it made me understand onto why he's the character that has a dumb IQ, but mainly dumb for comedic purposes. But since that in this episode, even though that there are comedic moments here and there, it did showcase on the fact that they're attempting to make him more than just a dumb character. This is still season 1, not season 2 or 3, where they're gonna be able to go through more obstacles, more crazier than the last, but I really feel like that this episode really knew how to handle Wad's confidence by instantly showcasing that he is helpful, just not when it comes to navigation. And I'm waiting to go back to this sanctuary in the future episode, because I can remember that shadowy figure was inside this sanctuary, since that's one of the only moments I remember from this show. But since I'm gonna be paying attention to that future episode, this is probably an example onto why this sanctuary is the key element for not only for shadowy figures development, but also KO's development. I'm giving this episode a 7 out of 10.